What's going on, podcast people? Welcome back to the Ranting Bananas, a Third Culture Kid podcast. We're trying a new format today, where Third Culture Kids interview each other. This is really cool because 1, we get to crowdsource content, 2, we can grow our audience through different locations and perspective. If you're interested in recording a podcast, DM me on Instagram at SemiGrownKid. So here's a conversation from Mike, a Congolese Italian raised in the UK, now based in Zambia, and Theo, a Jamaican English based in Vancouver. Enjoy.
Drop. It's a lot's changed. I've moved to different countries, and now here I am in Vancouver.
Vancouver, yeah. Apologies for the cold schedule, because I think I was looking at Toronto timing, man, and I think that's different, isn't it?
Yeah, I imagine that's what happened.
Yeah, pretty cool, man.
I think they're like 3 hours ahead of me.
Oh, is it? Cool, man. Cool. Yeah, congrats on your son, man. Like officially, I'm still hyped about that, man. Like, how's life as pops now, man?
It's different. Everything changes the moment you have a kid.
Yeah.
In the best and worst possible way. Like, it's not. I don't know. Like, I remember the day he was born, and I think the day after I came back home to pick up some stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I shut my eyes and I just passed out for like 4 hours, and then I woke up in sleep paralysis. I couldn't move, man. I hadn't slept in like 32 hours.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
a 30-hour labor. And I just passed out afterwards, man. I couldn't even, it was crazy.
I'm still waiting for that day to come by for me, man. Like, I've been too busy.
I will tell you this, right? Because I don't want to tell anyone what to do with their lives.
Yeah.
But personally speaking, if you love the way your life is right now, and you feel fulfilled and you're happy, the last thing you want to do is have a kid. I'm telling you that now. Like, it's the last thing you want to do, because when I say everything changes, I mean everything in your life changes. There's no everything you love. There's no more of that. Like, at least for a year. I don't know what happens after the first 8 months, because I'm only 8 months deep. But your sleep, that's not going to be the same. Working arrangements, living costs, everything changes, and it's a thankless job. And then also you have to take into consideration that, you've been in relationships before, right?
Yeah.
You've been in relationships that haven't worked out before, right?
Yeah.
That's taken into consideration. At the back of your mind, you know that the woman, once you have a baby, you have to know, women change after they have a baby, first and foremost. Right. And you have to be 100% sure that it happens to guys, that that's the right woman, because if you go in half-hearted or whatever, and you have this baby, this woman can take this baby away from you forever.
Yeah.
So you have to be mentally prepared for that to happen as well. Regardless of the bond with your child, regardless if you're the best dad in the world, regardless if you're not, like that, all of these things, that means that someone else on earth has something, holds something over your head, and can sometimes even control you using another person's life, and that's a crazy idea. So, when people ask me if they should, I'm just like, bro, like it's something that's been put at the forefront of media for many years. Like, having a family and all of that is the thing to do, and it's the right thing to do. And it's just like, bro, I have to ask people why now. Like, what? I need to know why and what. Now I know. Now I've had my kid, I realize, like, kids are for people that have a legacy to pass on. When, someone like Jay-Z has kids, I understand it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
obviously,
you know what I mean? Like, But I'm not Jay-Z. Like, I don't get why certain man want to have kids. Like, I don't understand. What are you passing down? Like, think about all the things. Like, what are you passing down? What are you trying to pass on? Because if you have nothing, you just put another person on this earth to suffer in some sense. You know, so it's deep, man. It's really deep. So
it's very interesting that you mentioned that, because even I've reached a stage where, like, okay, I have multiple friends getting married. Some already have kids and they're settling down. I recently got invited to a wedding to go and attend in South Africa, but like I can't travel because of this whole situation with the virus. But so he's getting married. He's like a couple of years younger than me, and I keep asking myself, like, I've asked myself this question several times, like, why is everyone getting into that situation and not me? What is wrong? Because I was, like you said, brainwashed with the same theory or notion to say, once you get a certain age, you need to get married, you need to have kids. And like even my dad, my dad and my mom would have wanted me to have kids, but then I've always asked myself that question: what am I going to leave behind? What am I going to teach this person that's coming into this world? Like, if I sacrifice what I'm doing now, for example, and someone comes in my life, I mean, I need to take care of not only myself but even those people, and it's double. You have to work. I think you have to work harder. You have to manage your time better as well. You just have to transform into this different human being altogether. Man. Yeah. So I feel you, man.
Yeah, and on top of that, remember I said it's a thankless job. So sometimes you be doing all of this, and it will still come back on you. Like, it still get thrown in your face, and then you gotta wonder what you're really doing. It's not for everyone, right? And I think that's the mistake a lot of people make. Getting married and having kids. Like, getting married is one thing, and then getting married and having kids is a whole nother thing. And it's not. Like, sometimes both things aren't for everyone. Monogamy is not for everyone. And I think people should start being okay with that now, because it's getting a bit ridiculous. People are just getting married just because it's supposed to, it's tradition. And that's crazy.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I hear you on that. Do you think maybe it gets different as the child gets older? Maybe, like, okay, obviously you're not there yet, you're not like 50 for me to ask you this question. But do you reckon, like, is there that that notion in the mind to say, okay, things are going to be different at some point? Once the kid is older, you might go back to, like, let's say, doing certain things that you enjoy doing, or do you fear that you might not be on them things the same way? You might not have the same passion as you once had.
I'm 100% sure I won't have the same passion I always had, because I've seen that happen to me in the past already. Like, something big comes into your life, like when you move and you go to uni, you don't have the time to do the things you like. Or, like, for example, imagine when you were a kid, and there was this toy that you always wanted, right? But your mom or your dad would never pay for it because, either it cost too much money, or they just thought they just didn't take you seriously, or whatever, right? So you never got that toy. And then you work hard, you get older, and you get a job, and you have enough money to buy a toy, but only to realize you don't even want it anymore, because that's what you want. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I don't even want that anymore. I remember wanting it, but I don't want it now because I'm too old. I don't want it. It's not what I'm interested in anymore. And I think that when people have kids and they put their life on hold, when you come back from that hold, that kid goes off to school and you can get them extra hours, or that kid goes off to uni, there's no way you're going to have the same interest you did 10 years ago, let alone 5 years ago. It's hard to get back into something. So you have to keep doing the thing that you love in spite of everything else you have going on. Otherwise, you'll lose it, man.
Okay, I hear you. Speaking of that, then, obviously you're working in the IT sector. Are you still then doing music? Are you, like, working on personal projects now? Like, are there any other, let's say, hobbies that you've taken up? Maybe like writing code? Yeah.
So as far as any other hobbies, I picked up some new ones. Like I tried learning bass guitar. I had bass guitar lessons for quite a while, and just trying to do things that can give me more skills. Like I have picked up coding, but that's because of work.
Yeah.
And that's work related. That's not really something I like doing as much.
Yeah.
And but other than that, no, man, I've still got the same hobbies I had when I was in uni, just music and, you know, like playing instruments and reading manga, man. That's what I do. That's my stuff.
Sick guy. And now I'm surprised why you haven't sent me any new beats, or like you haven't uploaded anything new, because you know I'm a huge fan, man. Yeah.
Okay, so the reason I haven't done that is because I haven't made anything worth uploading. I don't feel like I need to do it anymore as well. Like when we was back in Portsmouth, I was making a lot of music.
Yeah.
And I think that it got to a point that I just didn't want to do that anymore. Like I didn't want to make it. First of all, the whole TUA thing, I didn't want to make that anymore. I didn't want to do that anymore because I was doing stuff I didn't want to do. I didn't want to be a performer. I didn't want to write for people because I was doing hooks versus making the beat, mixing, mastering. Like it wasn't even what I wanted to do at that time. I just wanted to be behind the scenes doing the production.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe write a hook every now and again. So I think I got burnt out. And then fast forward to now, I'm still doing stuff, but I'm doing it differently. So I don't want to, like, I even have the luxury of recording anymore. I don't have all my old equipment. So when I end up recording whatever I can record, probably once in 3 months, beats-wise, I have 2 projects coming that I've been working on for a very long time, and that's why I haven't been putting stuff out, because I don't see the point. And I've got one collaboration project where it's just instrumentals. Me and this guy are putting out an instrumental EP. He just messaged me and was like, look, I want to work with you. And I was like, you put out 2 projects already. And I was annoyed with myself because he started producing after I met him, and he just churned out 2 instrumental projects and put them on Spotify and all the streaming platforms. And I'm sat there still working on my stuff, like throwing stuff in the bin and starting again. And I'm saying eventually I'm going to put something on Spotify. Then I get my track list ready, and then I delete it all. And then he just like, look, we need to make something together. And then once he said that to me, it made me put my foot on the gas again, and we're doing like a 6-track EP of instrumentals that'll come out at some point this year. And then I was like, all right, now I need to do my thing, because if I'm doing this, I need to do my thing. And then now I've got my project almost done, and I'm supposed to be trying to get people. Like I have songs from like 2014 where I've got people across the world on my tracks, and then I never used them. I have the songs, I didn't use them.
You got the individual audio tracks, the recorded audio tracks.
Yeah, I've got full songs done with people. Like I'm on the chorus, and then I've got this awesome girl called Ark, the MC, and she is on a whole track of mine, and I just didn't put it out. And it's just sat there. It's just sat on my hard drive. And then I've got another track with a guy called Virgo from LA, and he's sick, and I haven't put that out. I'm currently working on a track with another girl in the US, and I want to put that on my project. I wanted to put all of them on my project, but either the mixing wasn't right for me, or a final verse was needed, and I'm not going to do it. This kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I just feel like there's no rush because I don't care what it does. I'm just doing it for me at this point. And I wasn't even going to tell anyone. I was just going to post it, put it on all the streaming platforms, and that's it. That's what I was going to do. And I wasn't going to say anything to you. I wasn't going to say anything to Emmanuel or anyone I know. I don't mind people finding it. Like, if you ask me, I'll tell you I have. Like, if you said to me, if I put it out and then you said to me, where's your music? What you been doing? I'll be like, oh, I've got stuff on Spotify. I'm just not. I'm not about to ask people to listen to my stuff.
Of course. Yeah. I feel you on that. I feel you.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Because mentally, it's not good for me, man. Like when we was doing the stuff in uni, and we was trying to push everything, correct? I just started looking at people differently, and it started making me paranoid. Like I would have to, like, all right, for example, someone would say, "Yo, where's the music? What are you doing?" Yeah, but they would never. For example, you said I haven't uploaded. That means you checked, right?
Yeah.
If you care about the music and you're asking me, not in passing, you're just asking because you care, you would have already checked.
Yeah.
And I had stuff, so they was like, oh, so you know I've got stuff, so why you don't act like you you know what I mean? Don't act like you don't know.
100%.
Yeah, so that made me paranoid, and I was just like, bro, these people don't have my back, so like I'm not gonna try and ask them to listen to my stuff anymore. You know, they'd rather listen to someone they don't know stuff. You know, that's fine, but just don't ask me about it. Like, if you want to know, look for it yourself, man. And that's how I felt about that. So I just decided I'm not gonna go that way this time, and I'm not gonna email people. I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm just gonna straight up just work on what I want, and it puts less pressure on me as well. So.
I can relate totally with what you've just said. Not only the fact that, people ask you about your music and then they don't check, but also the fact that, like you said, you start looking at people differently. The work aspect of it, I felt like when I used to make music, I got into a state of mind where, like, I was expecting other people to, at least rate the music, minimum.
Yeah.
The least you can do is rate. Give me some feedback. Don't just be like, oh, so you do music, it's just you want to be able to hear like real criticism, and maybe because of the lack of like extra exposure, we weren't able to get that, from the people like that would have given feedback. And usually it's people that don't know you personally that will be able to give you that feedback, and that will be able to check. But when it's just like your friends and people around you, it's just like
it's you know what, there was a cool thing about making music back then, because it was like a vibe where everyone was there and you could see like, they're vibing with this, but at the same time it was like they could just be being nice, like that, and that's really hard to differentiate, whether people are just being nice but then there's the people that just won't even listen to your stuff, bro. Like they won't even give you. They say that they got your back, and they won't even listen to it. That's crazy. It's a 2-minute, 3-minute song, and that's another reason why it's like, bro, I'm not. I thought I knew these people, but if they say, oh yeah, I've got a boxing match here, you should come, or I'm doing this sort of thing here. Can you support it? Yeah, it's easy, isn't it? But when it comes to, I don't know what it is about music. It's not about music. When it's music related, people are just like, nah, I'm not even gonna listen to it. It's weird because it's probably the least hardest thing to do in the world is to listen to a song.
Yeah, true say.
On your way down to the shop or something.
Yeah, you listen to, exactly. I find it hard to understand that. Well, I guess like, I don't want to judge anyone, but I guess they have their own reasons.
Yeah.
For being the way they are. There was a similar discussion. I think Andre 3000 was talking to can't remember the presenter, but he was talking about the same thing, and he was talking about why he hasn't been active, in the music scene as of late. It's also it's for me. It's also not based on like what other people think. It's also the way I look. I think that music at some point gave me a certain aura. Like making music when I was in Swindon and I used to make beats. You collaborate with different people. It gave me a certain. It transformed me. Like especially when you have to keep up a certain appearance, like when you have to go and perform, and when you have to negotiate with people to like perform in clubs and try to collaborate with artists. Like sometimes you don't want to do that as a producer. You just want to be an artist and just concentrate on your craft and just make that.
Exactly.
And, you don't have to sell yourself, because I think that's what a true artist is like. You need someone else maybe to brag. That's if you really want to, but I find music now more therapeutic for me. Like I don't even do it for like, people need to listen to it or I need to sell records. I think you might agree as well. We've kind of evolved from that stage. I think that was mainly the adolescent age of saying, right, I'm going to do this to like blow, or I'm going to do this to make money or to get famous. But now it's more like you understand it's a gift that you have. And you just want to enjoy working on it, and if people rate it and if people recognize it, then cool, yeah, fair play. But not really going out there to get it. I don't know if
Bro, I stopped caring like in 2014, like for many reasons, man. 2014 was like the year I graduated from uni. I was done, man. I was like, I stopped caring about. When we made our last project together, I stopped caring about, at that point, I stopped caring about what the reception would be. I just don't care anymore, because it just doesn't matter to me, man. Because at the end of the day, it's all a politics-based thing. You can have a shit track, and if you know the right people and you kiss the right bums, you can make it bang,
True.
Pay enough money. Or you I know people that are in the industry and help people become artists, like become known artists, and they give advice like, oh, you've got to get your marketing right and do all of this and all of that. And as you're saying, bro, as someone that just does it because they love it, I don't care about all of that stuff. I really don't. I really don't, man. But I'm from an era where getting your music out, like, on a platform where people can hear it, was impossible. So my whole drive was to do that, and it's always been to do that. I was never about getting famous or getting a number one hit. It was, I just need to get signed so I can get my music on this platform or that. But now we have Spotify and Tidal and all of these platforms. So I don't even care about that anymore, because you can just upload your own music now. It doesn't even matter anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, and someone at the other end of the world will be listening to it, and like, boom, you've done your job because someone feels good with the way you've composed.
I went to my friend's funeral around 2015. 2015, and it was all the way in Liverpool, like past Liverpool, a place called the Wirral. And some guy was there. I'd never met this guy before. And then my friend introduced me to this guy and was like, look, this guy and a bunch of his friends love you guys' music. I was like, what?
This is all the way like up north.
Yeah, like that was crazy. Like, and then I was like, oh, okay, so I didn't know what to say to this guy. He was like, yeah, man, love your stuff. Like, wait, when are you going to do this and when are you going to do that? And I was just like, this is weird. Like, I've never, and the fact that someone even connected with it, and that's the whole point. And I was speaking to my wife recently, and I was like, that's the whole point. It doesn't matter, right? Whether you become Michael Jackson or whoever. What matters is you put a song out. I've got music on my phone that is connected with me from people that will never become famous. And that's all that matters. Is someone out there like heard your stuff and it was like, it's with them for life. That's crazy to me. And you'll never know as well. There is no way for you to know. You just have to You have to put it out there. You know. Yeah, I'm just doing it now for those reasons, for myself. I don't do it if I'm not in a good place. I used to make music to get out my negative feelings, but I realized, well, like, as my life evolved and got older, I didn't have those negative feelings anymore. You know, so I wasn't making the same type of negative sound. And then I thought that I lost it, but I don't have what I used to have. I don't have that anger. I have a different type of anger. I still have anger, but I have a different type of anger. It's a different type of anger. Before it was frustration, and now it's just, I'm annoyed. You see what I'm saying, though? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I can relate. I can relate, man. And then the thing is, obviously, what we were fighting for, obviously, like, you know, at university, you know, we were aiming to get, let's say, good papers and at least graduate with a degree in order for us to find a job, a stable job, and, you know, start living. And, you know, the frustrations that were going on through that period of time, and now you actually have what you want, you reap from your benefits. There's a different kind of anger that comes in, of course. Okay, man. So speaking of, you know, music, and you've collaborated with so many people. Before we actually expand on that, I want to know Japan. Did you collaborate with anyone there? How were your first days and how were your last days? What made you move, man?
My first days were like my last days. I didn't meet anyone in Japan. I'm a recluse. Like, I don't really go out to meet people. I just don't have the capability or capacity, or I haven't tapped into it. So I was there, but I wasn't really there, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And I left because I thought, when I got there, I thought I could settle there. And then we quickly realized that Japan doesn't really want people to settle there that aren't from there. They make it very difficult. To settle. And so we were like, all right, cool. I've always wanted to live in Canada. I had the opportunity to move there. Do you want to move? She was like, when do you want to move? So my wife was good to go. You know, we just left, man. That was it. There's no real story behind it. It was an amazing place to live. Like, it was crazy. It was unreal. Like, I've got pictures and I look back at the pictures and I'm like, I can't believe we did that.
About those times, man. Tell me about those times. Like, what did you get up to there, man? Like,
I went to. I didn't get up to much. I climbed a mountain for the first time in my life. I climbed Mount Takao. It wasn't really that hard. Kids were doing it, no trouble. For me, I saw kids running. I was like, bro, I was finished when I got the next day. My calf got in pain. Yeah, so I did stuff like that. I went out into the wilderness. We went to Disneyland. We went to, you know, the normal places like the One Piece. It was like a One Piece Expo in Tokyo Tower. It's probably still there. It's probably still going. It's really cool. And we went to a lot of cool places to see what it was like. I bought my first Jordans out there.
Sweet.
I did a lot of firsts out there, but I really didn't actually experience the Japanese lifestyle because I didn't meet Japanese people.
Oh, right. So you mean to tell me you didn't have one single Japanese friend?
No, not a single one.
What?
Yeah, bro. That's who I am. I'm not good at doing that. Like, people think that I don't know, cold or whatever, but it's just I don't know how to be like. I know a lot of people like yourself that are just really good at making friends and meeting people. I just can't. I don't know how to do it, man. I really don't. I have no, like, I've been talking to the same people that I've known since secondary school.
Right.
And try as I might to cut certain people off, they're still in my life to this day. So I never got to shake off people.
Does that include me then?
No, because I'm saying secondary school, bro. Like before uni, I have people that I tried to cut off from then, and they're still in my life now. And it's not because I cut them off. I wanted to cut them off because I didn't like them. It's just because that's what I do. And if I did do it successfully, I probably would have met new people and learned how to communicate with new people and make friends. But because I kept the same people all the way from secondary school, I don't know how to be outside of that box. Even when I'm in a different country all alone, it's just, I don't know. And I'm fine with it too. I'm fine with not being around people.
Sometimes, like, I wouldn't, socializing with people does not necessarily mean that they will be my friends. Usually, and as of late, I just realized, maybe before that, like in uni days and college days, I would easily make acquaintances. But now it's all about, time is very important nowadays for everyone, and for me especially. My time needs to be managed accordingly, because there's still stuff that I need to do, like where I manage my life on a daily, the schedules that I need to meet and everything. Besides of work, obviously, there's other self-improvement practices, or let's say habits that I must conduct. Now, if I meet people, that means I need to allot a portion of my time to going to visit them and to meet them. And yeah, sometimes I do have like some spare time, so I go see someone maybe for like a couple of hours, maybe once a month. But that's very rare, because I only do that because I live on my own. All my family's away, and everyone's abroad, and I have to have human contact, besides just at work, because otherwise I'll become crazy. My social skills have gone down, I won't lie. Like, not socially handicapped. There's a word for it, man. There's a
socially inept.
Yeah, exactly. Where I'll go somewhere and there might be a hi, how are you? Yeah, okay, cool. But I do not escalate, or not escalate. That's in a negative sense. But I do not build on a simple hi and hello. Yeah, so what are you up to? Like, I'm not interested. That might sound selfish and dickheadish, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to pretend to someone and be like, oh yeah, so how's this? It's only if I care for that person, and I only do that to people that I know very well and that I care for, right? New people, it is a bit difficult. They need to be extra special to have an impact on me wanting to be their friends. So I'm mainly looking to make acquaintances that will help me in different aspects. For example, like I'm getting badged in SQL PMP, which is Project Manager Practitioner. It's a project management certification, and also business intelligence, right? Maybe there are people, but I haven't met a single person that fits in these sets. And so there's nothing to talk about, because I'm a geek like. Do you know what I mean? I'm geeky like that. I read stuff, I study, I do a couple of questions, before I leave the house, and I go out and everyone's just talking about, going out on a weekend. Work is stressful. And you ask them, okay, so what kind of work are you doing? They can't elaborate, because majority of the time it's just shit that I'm not interested in anyway. So, yeah, I feel you on that, man. I feel you. But either way, I'm gonna invite you to Italy when I get to Italy, and yeah, I'll make you socialize. Not unwillingly, but yeah, you will make sure you socialize with people over there.
Man, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to travel. With this, my current life is nuts, man. Like, I was looking at flights today, and then my wife was like, "So who's gonna watch the baby?" And I was like, the baby.
Wait, are you always watching the baby? Like, are you the 80% and your wife's 20?
Nah, it's like, I think it depends on the day. So she just got a job at EA.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like last month, and so now she's not in the house anymore. Before it was 100, it was like 80% her. Now I have the mornings with the baby because I don't start work till 12 p.m. So I had the mornings with the baby, and then I put him to sleep at 10, and then we hired a nanny to come because I'm working from home. I can't focus if I'm looking after the baby. So we have a nanny that's in the house looking after the baby until about 4 p.m. And then I take over again until my wife gets home at 6 o'clock. And then she takes over for the rest of the night. So, and on weekends, I don't touch the baby much because because I'm in the house with the baby 24/7, regardless of whether I'm with him or not. I'm with him 24. I'm in the house. So on the weekends, she takes over more. But mainly because she doesn't get to spend much time with the baby during the week anymore. And it's still early days, to be honest. Like, he's not even 1 yet. And a lot of moms don't go to work at this time. They take the year off or whatever. But Sal likes to work, so she's got back out there again. So we kind of split the time up. It's like, I'd say like 60-40 right now.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot of work, man. He's teething and everything right now, so it's crazy. That's another reason that I can't churn out music like I used to. Like, I can't get up at 4 a.m. and start making a beat. You know what I mean? I miss those. I miss doing that. I miss having an idea and then jumping up and doing it. Yeah. It's not the same, man.
Yeah. Now I'm sure it's going to evolve into a different way. It's not going to be you waking up at 4 again. It might, come in a different way. I totally believe that. I don't think it's lost completely. It's just going to come in like different ways. That's what I think.
Now I have a whole different process now. I'll make a beat, and I'm like, and then if I love it, then I will bounce it, put it onto my phone, and then I will start coming up with ideas for melodies. Then I will contact singers and say, could you do this, or can you do that, or whatever, and they'll say yes or no. And then other times I'm like, maybe I'll just leave this as an instrumental. Maybe I'll write one more rap verse. I don't, and that's what my current project's looking like right now. It's like 5 or 6 songs. And, I don't rap no more, man. I don't do that. So because I wanted to ask you actually, because you send me instrumentals, I'm like, does this guy want me to rap?
Not at all. I want to give you like.
I don't even have the tool. I don't even have the bro. I don't have everything. Do you remember all the equipment I had? I don't have that anymore. Since I moved countries, so I can't even just get in. And even if I did, there'd be baby screams in the background. So.
No, it's not even that. Like, I think when I sent you those was like, okay, I need to expand on the idea. So let's say I'd send you a bass with a bit of a melody and some kicks. When I sent it to you, I expected perhaps maybe a different kick, a thumping kick. Like you might change a few things here and there. So
nah, man, I'm not gonna change your. Nah, I can't. I don't. Nah. Even my other producer friends, man, they send me stuff, and I'm just like, I'll say what I'll be like, okay, this is dope. Maybe you could turn the tempo down or whatever. Yeah. But I'm not gonna be like putting in new kicks stuff unless someone asks me to. I'm not gonna do that. And also, your stuff is normally really clean anyway. Like your drums always. I've never been able to make my drums come out that clean. I never have a problem with your drum kits, man.
All right, okay, well, I'll just drown in my own shit then, all by myself.
Bro, that shit is dope, man. This shit is dope.
That's blessed. Okay, so music-wise, no, I'm not doing anything on music. It was just that, like, a friend of mine in the UK, because I traveled recently, he used to rap back in college, and When I met him over in January, we're drinking, he got tipsy, well, we both got tipsy, and he's like, hey, I want to put out a project, make some beats for me. And I'm looking at myself like, I don't really make beats for people to rap on anymore, because, even the way I produce the beats now, I like orchestra music, symphonies and all that. And I try to do that in a digital sense, but I try to make it minimal so you don't have all these like multiple instruments playing at the same time, but just the way the melody will play out. And I might make some abstract drums, for example. It might not be a, boom, bap, hip hop kind of theme or template. And for this guy who's like completely hip hop, he wants a beat from me, you send it to him and he doesn't reply. So, like, okay.
He doesn't like that one,
Yeah, exactly. He didn't like that one. So sometimes I can make beats like that, and I already know what style needs to go on there. If someone needed to add vocals, like it would have to be abstract. So let's say if it's singing, for example, it will be a certain way of singing. That's weird, but it goes with a beat, not your conventional or your contemporary style of doing music. So I'm not really putting stuff out there for performers, man. So I don't expect you to rap on beats.
I 100% understand what you're saying too, because I wish I had an in-house singer. I wish that I had someone that was willing to try something that they haven't heard before. And I kind of had that at one point where I made the Mantra EP. I got to do all the weird stuff.
That was dope. It was really dope.
But like, I wish I had someone that, because I've worked with a lot of singers and they just don't want to. They want to do what they've heard before. Like, I want that song that sounds like Janae. I was like, bro. Like, come on, like they didn't. Who did Janae sound like? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know, man. And so when you try and get someone to do something different or don't really understand, or then because your name's not Timberland or Pharrell or Mike Will, they're not gonna try it because they don't trust you. And they think, they don't want to make a shit. They don't even want to try and make a shit track. I love making shit tracks, bro. Like, because you never know what's going to come out of it. They don't even want to take that risk as if it's going to blow up one day like Rebecca Black Friday and it's going to ruin their lives. Like, come on. You know what I mean? It's not that deep.
I totally get you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in Canada, I'm guessing you have a lot of artists over there, huh? You must be like close to a fair few people out there.
No, incorrect. So in Vancouver, there isn't much of a music scene. In Toronto, there is. In Vancouver, there isn't. And also, like I said, I haven't met a single Canadian person. Actually, that's a lie. I made I met a group of people earlier when I first got here. They asked me to do some photo shoot thing for her friend's clothing label. And I did that. And then after that, they asked me to come out to a concert and a few other invitations, and I didn't go because one, I work, so I work at a weird time, so I couldn't be going to concerts with them. Second of all, I'm too old to be going to the concerts they're going to. I just feel like I wouldn't be able to laugh. Like I'd be out there dying, bro. And I turned down those few invitations, and then I stopped getting the invites, and I haven't spoken to them in like 2 years. So I don't know. I really don't. I'm not good at this. I'm not lying when I say I'm not good at this whole social thing. I'm really not. Like I don't really. I love being in my house because I pay so much rent for it. I don't really like leaving it.
Nice house.
It's all right, and because it's not even that great. It's just that Vancouver's expensive, and if I'm paying so much, I want to be in the house that I'm paying for, and I don't go outside enough to be honest. I need to go outside more.
Yeah. Is it cold like the whole year, like from January to December, or you get like some sun?
It's right now. It's -6 degrees out there, but when it hits late April, it starts to get really hot, man. It starts to get really hot.
Really, yeah. So you guys got nice weather there.
Yeah. We get nice weather here. We get a lot of rain, but it's not that bad out there. It's not that bad.
Okay, cool. I feel like I'm a bit behind on, certain tech subjects and, evolution of the world in regards to artificial intelligence and stuff like that. How big or how much has it hit that part of the world, man? How much has it hit Canada? Like artificial intelligence and everything getting electronic instead of cutting down on, let's say, manual labor and stuff.
Not that big. Where I am, not that big. People are worried about it, but it hasn't really. Like, let's even go down to the smallest part of technology in jobs, like self-checkout, for example.
Yeah.
In England, self-checkouts, there are a lot more self-checkouts in supermarkets than there are out here.
Really?
People are, yeah. I remember I went back to England after Japan for like a week, so I could transfer to Canada. And I went to a Tesco's, and there was like 2 people in there and like 5 self-checkouts. Crazy. Here, it's the other way around. There's like a lot of people working in supermarkets. Technology really hasn't made that much of especially AI hasn't really pushed people out of their workspace yet. Where technology is trying to go is where a lot of translators are. There's a lot of translation technology now, and people in that field aren't very happy about that.
Right.
Otherwise, everything's going cloud, man. I'm already studying to get my cloud administrator certifications because everything is moving now. Companies are starting to put more in the cloud, and especially when it comes to network topologies. Like, I'm starting to see a lot of network topologies that are cloud-based, and I want to be there for that. So I'm getting my Azure certifications because I would probably get my AWS certifications later, but Azure now, because Azure is super popular, it's Microsoft. And then we'll see what happens, man. It's going to be an interesting next 5 years in the IT world.
So now with cloud, you're still dealing with databases, aren't you? So you're just storing data.
Well, it's not just storing. You can do everything now. So, you can use, for example, AWS or Azure as storage, but you can also use it as a load balancer, to balance traffic. So data analyzation you can do that perfectly through Azure. There's so many uses, like virtual machines now so you can have computers in the cloud now, servers in the cloud sitting there. Like there's so much more. It's so much more than storage now, and that's why security is like the number one. Yeah, like anyone that's got a security certification, for example, and they have experience in that field, they're going to be getting paid, man. They're going to get jobs very easily.
Cybersecurity, basically. Because I hear...
Yeah.
Now, is that different?
I mean, cybersecurity and cloud security, I wouldn't say they're too different, but if you need the certification, like having a CCNA isn't going to get you as far as someone that has a Azure architecture certification or a DevOps certification, because it's more specific. It's like, okay, I know how to work this platform. rather than I just know security as far as because there's it's a whole different platform, and it's easy. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's easy, but it's easy enough for someone that has a CCNA to switch over and say, okay, I'm going to start focusing on cloud now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of governments are storing their stuff on there. I hear Trump did a deal with Microsoft not long ago. I think that was last year, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so Amazon got a bit because there was a bid. There were two tenders. It was Microsoft and Amazon, and Amazon thought they were going to get it easily, but I think Trump had other ideas and decided to go with Microsoft. So I think the stocks for Microsoft, or let's say the share price actually went up after that happened. Yeah.
Wow.
That's as far as I know about cloud.
It's the future, man. It is the future.
Can you describe me a world? It's the now, yeah?
Mm.
Can you describe me, like, okay, just to make me understand it better, describe me a world like, let's say, the way we knew how to, will it impact the daily or the average human being in the sense, like, will they need to know this knowledge? Like, will they need to have any idea about cloud, or is it just something that will always be like in the background and only in the minds of the specialists working behind it, and like normal, the average person wouldn't really need to change certain processes in, let's say, the way they browse the internet, or
I see what you're
just
saying.
to carry activities.
I see what you're saying. I don't think that it's something that the average person needs to know. I think that maybe actually schools should teach kids how to go about at least a basic level of security, and maybe just to understand what the cloud does on a basic level.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's going to be like how people are using computers today, or how people are making websites by themselves. I don't think that people are going to be running their own servers all over the world, because at the end of the day, it's still expensive. Right now, I don't see the price going down anytime soon, and it's very, very expensive. They're doing free trials right now, so you can have a cloud service for a year, some are 30 days, and after that, it becomes very expensive, and there's loads of hidden costs too. So if you leave some resources running, you don't know that you've left them because you press stop on the virtual machine, you think that's it, then you find out you've got a $15,000 bill. Like, you don't want to be that guy. So I would say, teach people I think they'll teach people the basics, or they at least should. But I don't think it's going to get too deep, because I don't think schools can even afford the cloud platforms at this point, unless they start making school subscriptions where it's more cheaper for the school to run.
Yeah, and you get like a small portion of it, right? Like you get like space allocated to you, right?
Yeah, that would be good. But when it comes to a school, that's a lot of space.
Yeah.
And then you're allowing kids to do and you know what kids are like, man. When we were kids and we had access to the internet in school, we used to do anything we could. Like, some kids that knew how to hack lightly were doing too much, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't think that that's going to be a thing that is casually used by people. I think that will be casually used on the media side of things, on the front end side, because it already is. People have been using Dropbox for years. People have been using things like that. So they'll use the cloud in the sense that, uploading data and storage, but I don't think they'll ever get further than that. But I'm not a data analyst, so I wouldn't know, to be honest. I wouldn't know how it's going to evolve. It could end up being something that I just don't see how it.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic to see how, I think, not the average human being, but maybe the working professional, because let's say, for example, a producer, you need to store your files. I don't know how big your database can be in terms of audio files. project managers, for example, like a lot of documentation. I don't know. I mean, computers can.
Yeah, but I think that's what people like myself in the industry will be there for. So they'll hire people to do those things. They'll hire a guy to. That's what a DevOps engineer is. Someone that is in charge of making sure that the finances are fine, making sure they don't go over budget in the cloud, making sure that stuff is stored correctly. And then you have the architecture guy that will make sure everything is built correctly for companies. Just like how you had the guys back in the day laying down wires for big networks.
Yeah.
They'll have the guy that comes in and makes sure everything's done correctly in the crowd, and they'll have another guy that makes sure everything's secure. And I think that's how it's going to have to be done. I don't think that a guy that's doing product management can handle all of those jobs. It's actually a lot, man. It's a lot to look after.
Okay. So a lot of companies are moving to cloud now. So like they hiring professionals, or they just outsourcing to like freelancers or to companies that actually have like a set of DevOps guys?
Well, from what I've seen, they're hiring professionals to do it because freelancers. Imagine you hire someone to set up the security, and they're a freelancer.
No, that's okay. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. So
look,
I think
what I meant was like, okay, say you're certified by a certain accredited body, right? So let's say you get your AWS. You are a professional, right? But do you need to work for a company that will then deploy you to work for another company, or you get integrated into a company altogether, and then boom, you're their employee, but you're in charge of DevOps? Like how does it go about?
I think it could be both.
Okay.
I think that there's space for people to make money off of this and not even know how to do it. They'll hire the guys and deploy them, or they'll be the guys and they'll deploy themselves. But I think that it's more likely that companies will feel more comfortable hiring someone to take that role over full time. At least in the first 5 to 10 years, I can't see that going any other way. Just because it's just so fragile at this time.
It's funny. I asked this question because there was a company that approached the place where I work, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we store data for you. So if you guys have like huge data sets, we can store it for you on the cloud." And it's a company that's offering these services, and I'm thinking to myself, nah. Once someone's got your data, they've got you by the balls, man.
Yeah, exactly. And let's talk even like let's talk big companies. Let's talk companies like Walmart or someone like that. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna. If I was them, I wouldn't outsource that kind of information. I would want everything in-house. Yeah. Storage is one thing, right? But say your company wants to start using servers because they want to have their own website and they don't want to outsource that kind of thing. So they have their own data center. They have all their servers set up. And now they want some servers in the cloud too. At that point, you need to have your own. You're still going to a company. You're still going to AWS. You're still going to Microsoft. But you need to. At that point, you need to have your own thing. You don't want to outsource that. Like storage is fine. Storage. I mean, it's not fine, but it's okay. it's like my company doesn't outsource any of that stuff. Like everything is in-house, and they're not a big company. So I would say probably if I was a small company, I'm going straight to store my stuff on S3 on AWS, or whatever I can get the cheapest deal on before I even think about outsourcing it. But that's because I know how to do it. Certain companies don't have the employers that know how to do that.
That's the thing, exactly. Yeah. Like, our company is not that dynamic in terms of, how they want to expand their functions and their operations. So, like, I was speaking to a mate over in Belgium, and there's some companies that will say, look, let's say, for example, it's a manufacturing company, but they have like a design department. Okay, over here, like, people prefer to outsource to agencies that can market for them, but bigger companies that can afford can employ people that are knowledgeable in the areas like what you've just mentioned here. And when they don't have a slot in their company to accommodate such a person, they will eventually outsource, and that, I think, puts them at risk, man. That definitely puts them at risk.
Yeah, man, it's worth the time.
So you're working for a company that's in like Canada or abroad, like different?
It's a UK company that has an office in Canada.
Oh, nice. So I was expecting you to tell me about how you experienced fishing, because I'm sure there's a lot of like stick fishing over there in Vancouver.
I haven't. I will, but I haven't yet.
You're a cyborg.
Yeah, I haven't had the time. I haven't gone snowboarding. I haven't done any of that stuff yet.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure when little man gets older, you'll get to do more activities, man, with him as well. And I still haven't met the madame, man. Like, I haven't met your wife. I was meant to meet her the time I came through to Portsmouth to see you, but I don't think. I think we missed.
Wasn't there?
Pardon?
I thought she was there the day you came.
Nah, she went out and she was going to come back. Like, I think she just went out to get something, but I had to leave. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I would definitely go and take a look. Asia is. It's just a different world. I wish the one regret I have is when I was out there, I didn't explore Asia enough.
Yeah.
And I wish I did. I should have gone to Thailand. I should have gone to Hong Kong, but I just stayed in Japan. Japan was big though, man. I've been to a lot of places in Japan. I've been to Kyoto, Osaka, Okinawa, Tokyo. So I did a lot of exploring in Japan.
Nice. And your mode of transport was what? Train, car?
I did plane. You have to catch a plane to get to Okinawa.
Really?
From Tokyo. Yeah, it's a 4 hours.
4 hours? Wow.
Yeah.
Japan looks like a tiny place, man, on the map, though.
It's big, man. Big.
Yeah.
Oh, obviously, I'm from England, though, so but and then for everywhere else, you can catch a Shinkansen, an electric train that it's fast. It's a bullet. I think it's called a bullet train in English.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Japan, man, like, have you been watching any animes? Any recommendations?
Of course, yeah. I don't get to watch anime as much as I used to, like in uni. But I watched Goblin Slayer. That was dope. Yeah. It's so weird. When I talk about anime, my mind always goes blank because I watch so much over a long period of time. I don't remember what actually was good. But Goblin Slayer was good. That's a good anime. What else did I enjoy? I always tell people to watch Desert Punk. I watched that years ago. Desert Punk is one of the best. Desert Punk, one of the best animes I've ever seen. But other than that, I just read manga, man.
Yeah. My manga game is very weak. I had an app on my Android, but I think I've lost like 4 phones over the past couple of years, and it's just annoying, like needing to re-download and read stuff. And there's a lot of other things that I need to do as well, man. Like, I've got so many books I still need to finish reading. I think at this point in time in my life, I just need a break from everything. I just need to shut down and wake up after like a year or something.
Take a break.
Yeah, definitely, man. Have you watched Food Wars by any chance?
I saw like the first season of that a couple years ago.
Yeah. I
It
only
was
just
alright.
started. Yeah?
It was alright, but then it's by the number. Like if you watched any other shonen,
Yeah.
and it's pretty much by the numbers of shonen. Like shonen can be anything. You could have a shonen about people dancing, and it's still like watching Dragon Ball Z. You know what I mean? They still have the same formula as that. So you have to pick when it comes to shonen. You have to be very careful that you're not watching the same thing you've seen before.
Yeah. No, you're right, because like I'm 9 episodes in, and I'm like, okay, they're trying to add a bit of content here in regards to like going into like a character's personal story, just to add some more content. But at the end of the day, the structure of the episode is the same. Like, it's and then they try to extend certain fights into like, let's say 3 episodes or 4 episodes, but ultimately what's going to happen, and you're just like, okay.
And this is why I can't watch stuff. I read mangas. People don't get it, yeah. People, because there's a whole community of manga versus anime. Some people say the anime is better than the manga's better than the anime, which is normally true. There's only certain situations where I can say that's not true. Like Demon Slayer, the Demon Slayer anime is better than the manga, for sure.
Really?
But like, for example, I can't see. There's a new manga I've been reading called Chainsaw Man, and it's amazing, right? And I can't see that being better in anime form, just because of how raw it is. I just can't see them filling those spaces, and it might end up being better. Like Attack on Titan, the anime is better than the manga.
Yeah.
For sure. The anime is better than the manga. But that's rare. And my thing is I'm not waiting 5 years to find out the story. If I'm invested in the story, I'm not waiting 5 years for the anime to come out so that I can finish the story, right? And so that's one thing. The other thing is, for example, what you said with Food Wars, 3 episodes for one thing, and that you could read that in 20 minutes. Yeah. You could read that in 10 minutes if you're a fast reader in manga. So it's time saving as well. And because time is my biggest constraint, manga has changed that for me. I can't sit down and bang out a whole anime anymore. I just can't. So, and I've been watching 10-episode anime. Like Goblin Slayer is 10, 12 episodes?
12, I think it's 12, 12. Is it the dark fantasy genre? I'm reading it right now. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So that I can watch those ones over a period of a month. See, that's 10 episodes. That takes me a month to watch 10 episodes. So, like, and they're only like 24-minute episodes. I just don't have the time to sit there, and I just can't do it. I'd rather read the manga. Vinland Saga is amazing. You should watch it. The anime is amazing, but it ends after the anime ends. The manga, I don't know if they're going to bring it back for a second season, but it doesn't matter because that story alone is good enough to watch in anime format. That took me about 2 months to watch.
Like 24 episodes, is it?
Yeah, but I was watching it as it came out, so I was watching it weekly, which is easier to digest. That is probably one of the best animes I've seen in a long time. I reckon you'd like it. I reckon, because I remember the style of anime you liked. I think you'd like that one.
Yeah, I actually remembered the last time I showed you my favorite type of anime. You're like, oh, you watch old school stuff, man.
Yeah, you like the old school stuff, man. Like, that's fine though. That's fine. Like, but Vinland Saga is not old school. It's just really well done. I think you'll appreciate the artwork in it, how much effort they put into the story. It's not a basic shonen. It's a very deep. It's got many levels to it, and it's drawn amazingly, animated almost perfectly. So I definitely recommend that over everything else.
Okay. Over everything else, would you like compare it to Berserk or anything like that?
It's
In
right.
regards to
It's
story. In regards to storyline.
story. No, because it's not. It's not fantasy. It's
Okay.
more historic.
Okay.
It's historical fiction, and it's kind of like all right. Have you ever heard of Kingdom?
Yes, I've heard of Kingdom. What the show on Netflix?
No, it's an anime. It's an anime about the Chinese. When China was divided, and there was a war. There was a number of wars in order to unify China. It was back
Oh.
in the Han Dynasty, I think. And it's a really it starts off as a shonen, and this is why I don't watch the anime. And they're bringing back the anime as well. I read the manga. It starts off as a shonen, but that shit gets real good after a while, man.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is, you know how it ends, because obviously China was unified.
Yeah.
But Vinland Saga is kind of like that in the sense of it's based on the Viking era.
Okay.
And they've kind of whittled it down so they make it a bit more focused on a specific character and how he develops through this era. You should really check it out, man.
I'm definitely gonna get on that. I'm writing down all the names as we speak.
Yeah, that was the main one I enjoyed. I can't even remember the other ones. Like, if I can't remember them, they're not worth even talking about. So Goblin Slayer was fun. Vinland Saga was amazing, and I don't want to sound boring, but I can't, like, all the ones that were supposed to be fun, I think I've seen that before. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yes, I get what you mean.
In my life, I've probably seen it before. So.
Kingdom, like Nobunaga Concerto. I don't know if you've seen that. Nobunaga Concerto.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, because like your Kingdom, about you've mentioned is about unifying China, but I think this other one is about unifying Japan. So Nobunaga is like one of the these Japanese names, man. I don't know. He was one of the guys that spearheaded the unification of Japan, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. But I think it's a bit of it didn't finish well, man. I think it just had like few episodes, like I'd say 9 episodes, and it doesn't show you the end of how, let's say, he got killed or how he unified China. I think it was just done for like school kids. There's not much like detail in it.
Yeah, okay, I hear that. I actually haven't watched that. But off the top, I've got like probably a couple more that you would like. There was one, Baki. Baki's old though, but they brought it back, and it's on Netflix, I think.
It's on Netflix, yeah. Like, I've been longing it. I've added it to my list, but I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it at my own convenience. Is it good?
Alright. The manga that I read was good. I don't know about the anime. The anime could be good. Yeah. It's a martial arts anime, and it's just fun. It's just good fun, and it's kind of got a sense of realism, but like to an extreme. Like, the guy, it's kind of like Hajime no Ippo in a way. If you've ever seen that one, it's a boxing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that in a sense where the guy pays extra detail to like all the muscles on a person, how they can work and help you in a fight or whatever. So there's that. One just slipped my mind. I forgot. There was one more. Berserk doesn't have a good anime anymore.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the story is amazing, but they need to bring out they need to get a good animator to really do that. Mob Psycho 100 Series 2 was good. But I'm naming animes that came out like a year or two ago.
That's fine. I'm a lot into the old school stuff. You know me, man. Even if it was like 10 years ago, as long as it's good, man, I'll watch it, bro.
Mob Psycho is written by the same person that wrote One Punch Man.
Yeah, I'm watching Mob Psycho, and I think I finished the One Punch Man as well.
One Punch Man, the manga is great. I don't know about the anime, but the manga is amazing.
Okay.
There's Promised Neverland. People love that, but it gets really kind of stupid near the end.
Which one?
The Promised Neverland. Like, if you watch, I think everyone will like the first season of Promised Neverland, The Promised Neverland, because the concept is so good. But I read the manga, and I got to a point, I'm near the end, and I'm just like, what is this? This is not good. So it gets really bad. The writing gets really bad. But yeah, those are probably the main ones I would say you should pay attention to. Everything else is kind of... There's Made in Abyss. That came out in 2017, but I watched it last year. That's an amazing anime.
What's the title, sir?
Made in Abyss. Made in Abyss.
Made in Abyss.
It's a good, feel-good anime, adventurer kind of... Pretty good, man.
Cool, yeah, I'll give that a try. Is it have you seen My Hero Academy? Can you because I think that's a new one, isn't it? Like
so yeah, that is they're calling that part of the new big three, which I guess I have to agree with. People love it. I mean, did you like Naruto, for example?
Yeah, not that much, to be honest with you. I never really liked Naruto.
Okay, did you like... are there any shonens that you like? For example, my favorite shonen is One Piece.
Hey, One Piece is a classic. I love One Piece as well, man.
Yeah. My Hero Academia is probably better than... all right. The anime is amazing because they don't rush it. Like, One Piece anime is trash because they rush it out every week. But My Hero Academia does seasons. And so the animation is great. The story is interesting. The world building is great. And they had an arc in the manga that was really good. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I can recommend it to someone. But it's people like it. It's good. Like, it's not trash. It's better than Naruto, in my opinion. And I'm not a Naruto fan because if you talk to a Naruto fan, they will defend it. But I'm not a Naruto fan, and I don't think that was a good anime or manga. I'm talking about the thing as a whole product from start to end. But My Hero Academia is good. The action's not great, but the story is good. I think, you know what, you should give it a try. you should just give it a try.
I gave the first episode a try, and it seemed very interesting, but there's so much going on around me. I've got Crunchyroll on the go. Like, what websites do you use for your anime anyway? Like, when you have to watch
I don't, man. I read the mangas. If I'm watching an anime, I'm using a website.
Don't say it does that.
Yeah. I'm using a website to watch it. Because I'm not, I had a Crunchyroll account, and I was like, I'm not even using this, bro. I just don't watch anime. I don't have the time, man. Like, I'm naming all these animes, but I watched these over 2 years. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a manga guy, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I need to get into that, man. I'll catch up one day. One day I'll be like, hey, Sensei! I caught up on the manga.
You know what? The pirate sites, a lot of them have gone down. So they released, for One Piece, for example, Shonen Jump brings it out every Sunday for free in the West. So, yeah, Shonen Jump. So you can actually go to the Shonen Jump website and read One Piece. And if you sign up for Shonen Jump, they'll give you the whole catalog, for some cheap. I don't know. It's really cheap. It's cheaper than having a Crunchyroll account, and they'll give you their whole catalog to read. Right now, they lock it down to the first 3 chapters and the most recent 3 chapters. If you want everything, it's super cheap, man. You can use Shonen Jump or Manga Plus, I think it's called. They're the legit sites for manga, for Shonen manga.
Okay. I think you'll definitely have a good chat on, about manga with one of the guys on the Ranting Bananas, man, because there are quite a few people there that are into manga as well, so I'm sure you guys will have a 6 session.
Yeah, man, for real. I love talking about manga.
Sick. Oh yeah, before you go, dude. Before you go, The Witcher on Netflix. I want to hear your views, man.
It was good. It was confusing because I played The Witcher 3, obviously, way back. I love that game, and then and then the thing comes out, and I'm like, after I got burnt by Game of Thrones, I was like, I don't even know about this, man. One mistake and I'm done. and we're watching it, and it's just good. But I didn't get I like the way it all came out in the end, and you realize, oh, okay, that's how the timelines are like. Because I was confused. I was like, why? What? I thought that was in the past. I thought this was in the future. What's going on? And I noticed some of the characters from the game, so it kind of brought me some familiarity. It was good. I really liked it, and if they do a season 2, I'll definitely watch it, man. They're on the right track. They're on the right track. I feel like their budget wasn't as big as it should have been, but they're on the right track.
Yes. I totally agree with you. The first couple of episodes, I was just like, nah, because the vision I have of Geralt is, the Geralt from The Witcher 3, right?
Yeah. I think he did a good job, though. He
did an amazing job, but the first couple of episodes, I was cringing, man. I was just like, oh, like the first episode, especially his first words, like when he was talking to that illusionist, the guy that I don't know if you remember. The illusionist that made him come, like he had to go into this place and it was like a garden and there was like loads of flowers. Like the first episode in the beginning, and he started talking. I was like, nah, he's trying too hard to sound like the Geralt, man.
Yeah.
And afterwards I just like, it grew to me. I was just like, nah, this is good. I think I started liking it from the third episode. It's very addictive though to watch. Like even if I didn't like the first episode and like I wasn't very impressed, it still got me hooked. Like I need to keep on watching, and then everything made sense in the end. And yeah, it's a good show, man. Fucking love it, man. It's good.
Yeah, it was really good.
All right. Oh, have you seen that movie on Netflix, Adam Sandler, Uncut Gems?
No, I heard it's a good film, but I haven't got a Netflix account. So I only get a Netflix account when something I really want to watch is out. I just put $10, $12 in, get a gift card, and then watch it for a month, and then I'm done, and I'll come back to it. I think it's really healthy, actually, the way I watch Netflix.
It's good. It's very good. Yeah, I binge it because I'm using someone else's account, man. Otherwise, I don't have
it. Do you know what me and my wife were mad about, I'm not going to say his name, but I have a friend that's got a Netflix account, right? And he's like, yo, have you watched so-and-so on Netflix, And I'm like, no, we don't have a Netflix account.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, okay. That was it. That was the end of the conversation. He didn't say, don't worry, bro, you could use mine. Here you go. Have an account on here. Like,
that's crazy.
Offer, bro. And so I was like, is that supposed to be your friend? I said, apparently, yeah. Did not want to give us the account, man. I'm not asking for it either. Forget that. I'm not asking for it. They're supposed to offer.
Yeah, definitely. Like my brother offered me the account. He's like, hey, do you have Netflix? I'm like, no. Okay, cool. I've got an account. I'll add you on there. I was like, oh, sweet. So he gave me his password, and every time I log in, there's my profile there. And I'm like, okay, boom. And that's how I get in, right? But it doesn't really affect if you have a number of people on there, right? As long as it's just one fee, and that's it, right? Yeah.
You can have different users on there, and it's completely fine. Sometimes the account has up to, because some people like having HD, so the account has like 2 screens on it, so it's fine. And especially because I'm in a different time zone, I'm not going to be watching Netflix when you're watching Netflix. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'll be giving away the location of the person, but I don't care, bro. Like I was kind of hurt by that. I was like, this guy didn't even offer. And my cousin has a design account, and he was like, you can't watch football. Take this account. Like, straight up, I didn't even ask. Like, I thought it would be like that, but, bruh, it doesn't bother me too much, because that means that I don't have a constant Netflix in the house, which is good, because keeps you away from the TV. We only watch like stuff like The Witcher. I watch Dragon Prince. I love that show when it comes out. So when I hear that those come out, that's when I want the account back online.
Dragon Prince was good.
Yes. Yes,
no
it was.
Way. No way.
I think it's still got another season left. So. Bro, it's done by the same people that did Avatar, The Last Airbender. So I had to watch it.
Not really a fan of Avatar.
Wow. Yo, that was a dope cartoon, bro. Back in the day. Like, I loved that, man.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? I need to catch up. I need to seriously catch up.
It was good, man. I wouldn't recommend the second series, which is Korra. I didn't enjoy that, but Avatar: The Last Airbender.
How many episodes, though, the Avatar?
It's got 3. I think it's got 3 or 4 books. So I don't know how much episodes it was because I didn't watch it. Like, I watched it back. I watched it different from everyone else. I watched it backwards. So when I was in Florida when I first started watching it, and I saw the final episode of the final book, and I was like, I need to watch this show. So then I watched the last season, then I watched the second to last season, and then I started from scratch when me and my wife started living together, and we watched the whole thing again, and I was like, this is it. It was on Netflix at that time. I think it might be on Netflix now.
Let me look for it, man. I need to catch up on the hype, man. Like, I know it's old. Like, I used to stack shelves and see like figurines of, you know, the Avatar like on a beast, and I'm just like, yeah, you look okay, but you look like a Korean anime. Because like I've always distinguished between like Japanese, Korean, and Chinese anime.
Yeah.
And let's face it.
Negro,
the Japanese.
English cartoons.
Even worse, man. Even worse.
Yeah, and that's why some people still call it an anime, though. That's the crazy thing, because that's how good it is. Some people want it to be an anime. Just like how they wanted Castlevania to be an anime, but that was not, and look how good that was.
Yeah, well, you tell me Castlevania is not an anime.
Not an anime.
It's not Japanese, huh?
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's good, though. It's good.
Yeah, okay. And what about this Batman Ninja, man? I don't know if you watched that. What do you think of it?
It's terrible. I watched it like a couple of years ago. It's garbage.
Garbage. Huge, man. Actual garbage. They even had like a robot. Like, they had robots in them. I was like, you guys are like, nah, man.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, because I love DC cartoons. Like, when it comes to the animated movies in DC, the Batman movies that are animated, the Teen Titans movies that are animated, they're all good. I love them. Right? I've watched all of them. I've watched every single one of them. But when it comes to that one, I can't, bro. That was trash.
That was disrespectful. Like, it started off okay. It had something. I was like, okay, they might be onto something. But they just went AWOL. They just went, nah, man. They took it
boring. I think I fell asleep in part of it as well. I was just done. Like, I think after the Joker went and lived with some woman in the fields, and then he was still the Joker. I kind of don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore.
Did you stop watching, or did you carry on? Because I was about to mention.
I fell asleep. I woke up and everyone was in robots, and I was like, "This, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this anymore." Like I said, I love DC animated. I don't like DC films. I like DC animated films. Yes, I love Young Justice. I love all of that stuff, but I can't back the ninja thing, bro. I can't.
Yeah. I thought the style was good, but the style of the animation, I mean, was okay. The storyline and, you know, how it built, the build up and everything was just appalling crap.
Yeah.
I got myself a cat, you know, and I'm barely managing a cat. I wonder if I had a kid, man. Eesh.
I thought that I would be able to handle a cat because they're more stoic. You know, that's what I thought anyway. I don't know for sure if I've never had a cat, but I thought they were more like, because dogs are needy. So I thought a cat would be perfect for me.
Yeah, my cat's very needy, man. Well, okay, he's kind of chilled now, but you know, when he first moved in here with me, because he's not allowed to go out of the house because we have dogs upstairs, and like they're really big dogs. They'll definitely like, you know, attack him and probably kill him. So he has to stay in my apartment like the whole day. Like he can go out in the balcony, that's fine. But as soon as I come back, he's like a little puppy. He has to follow me everywhere. He's like, okay, so he wants his food. I give him his food. And just when I'm about to touch my own food, like I wash my hands, I want to start cleaning, that's when he goes and takes a shit. And I need to clean that.
Oh my
because,
gosh.
Yeah, in his sandbox, I need to clean that because otherwise, you know, it smells pretty bad. So I'm like, just about to dig into a meal. So you go there, clean up for him, you know, take it out, throw it out in the trash, come back in, wash your hands again, try and eat. And he's there staring at you. He's busy meowing. And you're like, look, you have your own fucking food. What more do you want, G?
Yeah, imagine that, but screaming baby, and you fed the baby, and he stopped still screaming at you. Yep, that's my life.
Bless, man. Nah, don't worry, man. I'll maybe in a couple of years' time, I'll have a wife that will give birth to a mate that can keep him company, man.
Oh boy, I do not recommend, but good luck, man. Good luck with that one. I'm not having any more kids after this. If I have another one, it'll be through adoption. Yep. It'll be like after this stage, you know, like 2-3 years old or whatever, but never having another baby. No way. No, thank you.
Yeah, maybe 2-3, maybe 4 or 5 years from now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't deal with screaming babies on a plane, man. Eesh.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine. But yeah, man, speaking of my child, I've got to go attend to my child now and eat some food, get ready for the day.
Nice. That was good catching up, man.
Yeah, it was good, man.
You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Spotify under the same name, Piccolo Black, all one word.
Drop.